Hello friends, FlutterFlow developers, and welcome to API Flow YouTube channel. Today we will talk about how to connect, query, display and filter data from MongoDB in FlutterFlow using API calls. And to query my MongoDB and build this simple electronic store demo, I will use API Flow services connection platform. It allows us to connect different services. So first of all, we will create a new project and we'll select MongoDB as service to connect. I will call my demo project electronic store project, create project. And next you need to create MongoDB connection. So you need to specify server API or address, user and password to connect to your MongoDB database. You also can paste full URL, full connection string, for example, provided by MongoDB Atlas, hosting services or other hosting service. I already have my MongoDB connected. I actually use MongoDB Atlas. So let's select our database, and here you can configure how you will access your data, what operations you will allow, so you can disable operations that you don't require in your project, or you can enable them. Next, what I need to do, I need to select collection I will work with single items collection, and I will publish my project. So now my project is published and I can download Open API definitions. Open API definitions is required to connect our integration, our project, our database with our FlutterFlow project. So I upload my Open API definitions into API calls section in FlutterFlow L, and I receive all my actions from my API and access to my database in FlutterFlow. So in this case, I have only list items and get items by ID because I decided only to provide data for access to read operation. So next, what we need to do, we need to copy and paste into our FlutterFlow project authorization header. So I will do this, and we will be able now to access our API. Let's check how our operation to list item look like. So we have here filter field, which is complex filter field. It works same as MongoDB query filtering in JSON format. We also are able to sort our items during query, to skip some amount of records, and to limit size of our query. Also, we can provide ID to query, name, category, price, and image. This is a field that I have in my database for my records. So as you can see, we have this data in database. And for example, if I want to query by some particular price, I can specify price here and test my query. But if, for example, I want to write more complex request, more complex filter, for example, I want to query my price greater than some price. How to do this? We need to go to variables and change here price from integer to string, because by default API Flow will generate all the fields of types that you have in your database. So we will be not able to provide a string filter here if we don't change type. And now we can specify operation as it is in MongoDB filter, MongoDB query specification, greater than or equal, for example, 500. And this will return all items which prices is higher or equal to 500. So as you can see, API Flow provides us with very flexible way to send filters to database and query our fields based on specific values. What we will do now, we will start building logic of our application, and to do so, to start integrate API with our application, we will first of all create data type for our database, and we will go to data types. I copied one item from my response from my API, and I will call it data item, and we'll paste this JSON here, so it will create a data type for me. As you can see, it created string, name, string category, price, and image. But I want to change my image into image path to be able to use it with my application. It's important because by default, FlutterFlow do not create image path data type for your fields. So you need to change this data type manually. So next what we will do, next we will bind our API call to list view. We have here a list of our items, and here we have our filter, and we will learn how to combine filter with display of our items. So first of all, we need to create a backend query here, and we will use API call. But before we will do this, I will change data type of my API call to be data item data type, and will mark it as a list. So next I go to my dashboard page, select my list view, backend query, add query, API call, select my list item section, and next I can add some variables. For now we will proceed without variables. So what this will do, this will allow me to query my database through API call, to API flow, and receive data to my application. Now we will bind our properties for this little tile, for this list view. And first of all, we need to generate dynamic child elements. So we select our list view here, our list view, as you can see, and we will select how we want to generate our child items. We select list items response. As data type, we already parsed it as data type, and we can call it, for example, API items, and save it. Okay. Next, we want to bind all our elements inside our list, so we will use some backend image, which will be our data structure field image field from query. Title will be bound to API item and data structure field name, and here we have text combination, and we will bind our price to API item data structure field price. Okay, confirm. Now we have this list bound to our query, and we can check how it will look like when we launch our application. So you can see this process is very straightforward. We selected database to connect, we imported our open API definition, we connected result, we parsed it as a data type, marked it as a list, connected it to our container list view, and then bound the fields to child elements. So now we expect it to show us a list of products from my database. I have few records, so like not so much, but I expect it to show some list of electronic goods. It usually takes a moment for first load, so we will wait until it will load. So as you can see, our app is loaded and we have a list of items here, and they load from my database, from MongoDB. And now we want to continue our app development and actually make this filter working. So let's check how we can do this. First of all, I will explain what I have here. I have this drop down, and I already added some options here. I have categories like phones, tablets, computers, and accessories in my database. So when I select some particular category here and I click show items, I want that my query will change and will use parameters from and will use parameters to filter my query, to filter data from here, from this list view. So what I will do for this, I will actually did my database query, and I want to use category filter. And here I want to set it to category widget state. But by default, when I will change this widget state, it will do nothing, because actually this change do not trigger all database queries to be run again. So we need this button, and when we will click it, what we will do, we will actually invalidate database query. We want to refresh database request. So here we have our database request for our list view. And so we will, when we click the button, we will force this database request connected to list view to be refreshed, to reload data again into our list. Let's try how it works now. So we will select category and we'll refresh database request, and we'll force new data be queried from server. For example, we want to see only tablets. So you can see it works very fast. For example, we want to see computers. It works too. Cool, great. We have this working. So now what we want to do also, for example, we want to provide filter by price from some value and price to some value. So how we will do this? This will be more complex query, and for this we will use page state variable. We will use for this to force to be able to combine our values from these fields. So I will show you how to do this. We will define a new page state variable. We will call it price range, and it will be type string, because we will send this query to server. And by default, we will have, I suppose, empty range here. So empty value here. So we will send like no filter by default for prices, and then we will provide some filter to our API, and we'll see what result will be. So when this button is clicked, we want to build our filter. So then we want update our page state and create our new variable value for our filter, and we will update our price range variable. We will set value here, and to build like filter, we will apply some conditions conditions is very powerful tool actually when you build some logic. And here we will use a condition which will allow us to check if our first price from value is set and not empty. And then we want to add another condition. We will combine them to end request condition to end operation. Our price from price to is price to. We need condition here, single condition, widget state, price to is set and not empty. And then we want to build our value. So we have both fields not empty, and we want to combine our text. So first of all, we want to mark that we have our price greater than or equal and add text widget state price from, then separator and less than, and we will use our widget state price to, and we will close our condition. So this will build for us value starting from this curly brace, and then greater than or equal our price from, and less than price to. Okay. Else, for example, if we have only our we want to use conditional value. We want to use simple condition. For example, when we have our widget state price from set and not empty, then we combine our text next way. We have greater than and equal, widget state price from, and close. Okay, and else we, for example, use condition value if our widget state price to is set and not empty, then we have condition built like combine text less than, and add text widget state price to, add text curly brace. Else we want to return empty. Okay, we must put something here. So we put empty. Okay, return string false. Default value, we don't have any default value. So we have if both fields is set, we will send some text with filter for both fields, and else we will select which field to send, else we will send empty string. So this is our variable. Now we will change position of these two blocks, because first we need to specify our filter and then call refresh database request. So now what we will do for our list item, we'll edit query and we'll add additional variable price, and we will set value to our page state value price range. Confirm, and we will check how it works. So we reload our application. to check how our filter work. And now we can use, for example, price from 500, filtered it, and price to 1000, for example. And as you can see, it also filtered it. You can put logic where we will use less than or equal, for example, if we want to. For example, if we want to sort our results, we can use additional variable, specify sort, and sort, for example, by price from lower to higher. It will be 1. It will be ascending direction. Okay, it don't want us to set default. It don't want us to leave empty for this not nullable string, so we will set empty string. Now, when we will reload our application, it will be automatically ordered from a higher price to lower price. As you remember, we specified from lower price to higher price, and we can do vice versa if we want. So we have working filters here, we have our categories working, for example, only accessories, and we have our price to working and our sorting working. So you can use this approach to easily build your queries to MongoDB database, to organize your filters, to sort results. I hope this video will be helpful for your application development. New video is upcoming, new features in API Flow is upcoming, so join our channel, like this video if you like it, subscribe for notifications, and watch new videos. Thank you for your attention and have a nice day.